Most people believe they chose their dog. They picked the breed, researched the temperament, walked into a shelter or a breeder's home, and made a decision. But if you actually look at the mechanics of how dogs bond, select, and respond to humans, a very different picture emerges. One where the choosing was far more mutual, and in some cases, far more driven by the dog than most owners ever realize. The shelter selection effect. Anyone who spent time in a shelter environment has likely witnessed this without naming it. A dog that ignores most visitors entirely, then suddenly becomes animated, focused, and engaged the moment a specific person walks past. Shelter behaviorists have long observed that dogs display measurably different behavior toward individuals they seem to select as preferred: increased eye contact, tail movement, and proximity seeking, well before that person has done anything to earn it, like offering treats or extended attention. This isn't random. Dogs are constantly reading microsignals humans aren't even aware they're broadcasting. Posture, voice pitch, the way someone approaches a kennel, how long they make eye contact before looking away. A dog capable of processing that much incoming social information in seconds isn't passively waiting to be picked. It's actively evaluating, and in many documented cases, initiating the connection before the human has consciously decided anything at all. The attachment system runs both ways. Human-dog attachment has been studied using the same psychological framework originally developed to study infant-parent bonds, and the results consistently show something important. Proximity seeking, distress at separation, and relief at reunion aren't behaviors dogs passively receive from a chosen owner. They're behaviors dogs actively construct through repeated interaction. A dog isn't simply assigned to love whoever adopted it. The bond itself is built collaboratively, shaped as much by the dog's own initiating behaviors, seeking you out, choosing to rest near you, engaging you rather than another family member, as by anything you deliberately did to earn it. This is why two people in the same household, offering similar levels of care, often end up with a dog that shows a clear, consistent preference for one of them. If ownership alone determined the bond, that preference wouldn't exist. Something more specific is happening. A dog actively identifying and reinforcing a connection with one particular person, based on factors that often have very little to do with who technically picked the dog in the first place. Oxytocin doesn't care who signed the adoption papers. Research on dog-human bonding has identified a genuine hormonal feedback loop. Sustained eye contact between a dog and a person triggers oxytocin release in both species, the same hormone involved in parent-infant bonding in humans. Critically, this loop isn't determined by legal ownership or who's listed on adoption paperwork. It's determined entirely by interaction. A dog that spends focused, engaged time with a specific person, regardless of who owns it on paper, will develop a stronger oxytocin-driven bond with that individual over time. This explains a pattern many multi-person households have noticed, but rarely examine closely. A dog, technically adopted by one family member, sometimes ends up more strongly bonded to someone else entirely, a partner, a roommate, even a frequent visitor, simply because that person engaged in more of the specific interactions: eye contact, calm physical closeness, consistent presence, that drive this hormonal loop. The dog isn't respecting a legal arrangement. It's responding to whoever actually shows up, consistently, in the ways its biology is wired to reward. Dogs read you before you read them. Studies on canine social cognition have shown that dogs are remarkably skilled at reading human emotional states, sometimes faster and more accurately than humans read each other. A dog encountering a new person isn't a blank slate simply waiting for that person to make a decision. It's actively gathering information, tone of voice, tension in a person's body, the pace of their movements, and using that information to assess whether this specific human seems safe, calm, and worth investing social energy in. This means the selection process happening in a shelter, a breeder's home, or even a first meeting between a dog and a new family member is genuinely bidirectional from the very first interaction. The dog is running its own evaluation in parallel with yours, and in many cases, reaching a conclusion faster than you do, which is why some of the strongest human-dog bonds on record involve stories where the dog was reportedly insistent, refusing to disengage from one specific person, despite that person not having initially planned to adopt at all. The myth of the passive pet. Part of why this gets overlooked is a broader cultural assumption that pets are passive recipients of human choice. We choose them, we bring them home, we shape their world. But dogs evolved alongside humans, specifically because of their capacity for social initiative, not despite it. The dogs that thrived across thousands of years of domestication weren't the most passive or compliant. They were the ones most skilled at actively reading, engaging, and influencing the humans around them, because that skill directly determined access to food, shelter, and survival. That evolutionary pressure didn't disappear just because modern dogs get food from a bag instead of hunting or scavenging. The underlying behavioral toolkit, actively seeking out favorable humans, reading social cues with startling precision, and reinforcing specific relationships through consistent engagement, is still fully intact, running quietly underneath every interaction you have with your dog, including the one that led to you bringing it home in the first place. Putting it together. So when you look back at how you ended up with your dog, the version where you walked in, evaluated some options, and made a decision is only half the story. The other half involves a dog running its own rapid, sophisticated social assessment, reading your tone, your posture, your energy, and in many documented cases, actively initiating the connection that eventually became, "Your dog picked you, you didn't have a choice," or "He just wouldn't leave my side," aren't just sentimental stories people tell. They reflect something real about how dog-human bonds actually form: mutual, evaluative, and driven as much by the dog's own social instincts as by any decision you consciously made. You didn't just choose your dog. Somewhere in that first meeting, it was reading you back, deciding something too. Subscribe to Decoding Dogs, because the bond you think you built alone was never one-sided to begin with.